The first two games of divisional weekend are in the books as the Commanders upset the Lions and the Chiefs take down the Texans. We're going to react to both those games, plus a couple of coaching nuggets as things get pretty interesting as Detroit crashes and burns in their first playoff game. So we'll talk about it all. Welcome into Four Verts. My name is Harrison Graham. Thanks for tuning in late on a Saturday night or early Sunday morning. And whenever you're watching, wherever you're watching, if you want daily NFL and college football content, we got you covered. NFL playoffs heating up. Obviously, the coaching carousel is ongoing. We're reacting to all of these playoff games. We crossed 6,000 subs. Let's get to 7,000. We appreciate your love, your support. Let's keep the train rolling. Let's talk about the night game first. The Washington Commanders' magical season continues. They upset Detroit 45-31 for a lot of good reasons. Jayden Daniels, especially in the first half, played out of his mind. He threw for 242 in the first half. Didn't have to do as much in the second half. They were actually able to run the ball effectively for the first time in a while. I thought he, and especially Cliff Kingsbury, was fantastic. Does he enter the coaching fray? He says he's not taking any interviews until Washington's season is over. Obviously, they go on to play in the NFC Championship Game. They will face the winner of Philadelphia and Los Angeles, the Rams, tomorrow. For Detroit, I think the bigger story here is did they miss their window? Now, obviously, they have a lot of key guys that are going to be back. Goff's under contract, St. Brown, Penei Sewell, Gibbs, Montgomery. Like, they've got a lot of guys back. But to have 5 turnovers, 4 from Jared Goff, just an awful night if you're a Detroit Lions fan. You've been waiting your whole life to have an awesome team, and you do. Last year in the NFC Championship Game, you failed to convert a couple of key fourth downs. You drop a couple passes. This year, you have this awesome season. Injuries all year long, you're able to overcome it on defense. And tonight, you just weren't. They had no answers for Cliff Kingsbury, Jayden Daniels, and that Commanders offense. Aaron Glenn got picked apart. Now, again, at some point, you do have to acknowledge that there's just so many players out. Jared Goff was bad tonight, man. He was bad. He threw 3 picks. None of them were good picks. He got strip sacked early in the game. Ben Johnson, who we'll talk about in a second, I thought was fine, but he pressed and called a reverse wide receiver pass, and Jamison Williams, instead of throwing it away when it's covered up, throws a pick when they're down 10, which essentially ended the game early in the fourth or late third quarter. You know, he makes one bad call, and that basically cost them the game because the defense had no answers. This was a clinic by Washington. I mean, the story of the year is the Washington Commanders. Second time go around for Dan Quinn. Some redemption for Cliff Kingsbury. Jayden Daniels, rookie quarterback. I mean, ever since they hit that Hail Mary against the Chicago Bears, they've just felt like a team of destiny. They've just felt like that they feel like they can beat anybody. And they proved that tonight. They low-key dominated this game. I mean, the yardage, it'll all look close in the end. Detroit might even have had more total yards. But they won in the key areas. Turnovers, fourth downs. Detroit undisciplined tonight. 4th and 2, critical juncture of the game. Washington up 3 points, 31-28. Detroit has 12 guys on the field. Automatic first down. It's like, how does this happen? The more buttoned up team, the more detail-oriented team, the better coached team tonight was the team that's got a first-year head coach. Yes, it's his second time doing it, but still a rookie quarterback and a young team playing on the road against the number 1 seed in the NFC. I thought Detroit was sloppy as hell. Incredibly sloppy. So what a run for the Commanders that they're on. They're just playing with house money at this point. And again, for Detroit, big picture, if they lose Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson as we get into this coaching discussion, both could get jobs as soon as this week. What does this look like moving forward? We're about to see what Dan Campbell's all about. How well connected is he? Does he promote from within? Does he find some external options? Can Jared Goff be as good as he's been with a new coordinator that he's been with Ben Johnson? And by the way, coaching news right now, Eddie George going to interview with the Bears tomorrow. Rooney Rule. That is going to be their second Rooney Rule in-person interview. The Bears coaching search is about to ramp up tremendously, and you would think Ben Johnson's going to be at the center of that. So for Detroit, who knows what it looks like moving forward? Dan Campbell said it last year. This might be our best shot. Well, they were closer last year than they were this year when it comes to the playoffs. We are sponsored by PrizePicks. We'll talk about Chiefs Texans here in just a moment. But first, PrizePicks is the place to go to play daily fantasy sports in North America. It is available in more than 30 states. Check if it's available in yours. If it is, you should get signed up and start playing immediately. The chance to win money on a daily basis and have some fun while doing it. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use the code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play for just $5 on your initial lineup. Doesn't matter if you win or lose that $5 entry. You're going to get an additional $50 for free. I'm halfway home on a lineup right now. Travis Kelce, playoff Kelce. You should have locked that one in. 53.5 receiving yards. Hammer the more. And then I just need Derrick Henry to find the end zone right there. You can win up to 1,000 times your money on certain lineups right now. What does that mean? Well, you could turn $10 into 10,000 if you hit on certain lineups. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Pick more, pick less. Code CLNS gets you that $50 bonus. They've given out billions of dollars in earnings and in winnings. You should get in on the action. It's better than season-long fantasy. Daily fantasy is where it's at. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Okay, let's talk about the other game. We won't spend as much time on the Chiefs and the Texans. Chiefs win 23-14. Look, I get it. Everyone's tired of the Chiefs. Everyone thinks the refs are in their back pocket or vice versa, whatever the phrase is. CJ Stroud got sacked 8 times tonight. They scored 1 touchdown. Like, I'm not saying the Chiefs haven't been the benefit of a couple of calls. The Mahomes flop, I mean, that's not a good look. I get all that. But we can't be serious watchers of football and say that the Texans deserve to win this game. Now, could it have been a little closer if the Chiefs don't get a couple calls? Perhaps. But when you can't protect, when you give up 8 sacks and you're struggling to move the ball, Stroud hit a couple big plays, you're not going to win. You're just not going to win. So, look, I'll say this for the Chiefs. If they play like that, they will not win next week. I think the winner of Bills-Ravens has a very good chance to beat the Chiefs next week. Now, it'll be at Arrowhead Stadium. That place will be rocking, all that stuff. But the Chiefs are vulnerable. I know they're 15-2, now 16-2, but they're not an unbeatable juggernaut. The Bills beat them earlier this year. The Ravens played toe-to-toe with them in week 1. Whoever wins that game next week is going to have a very real chance to win that game. And the Chiefs, as of late, have not run the ball that well. Mahomes has been a little hit and miss. Their O-line has major issues. That's why they've had to play Joe Thuney at left tackle. So Chiefs find a way. The reason they're going to have a chance to run it back again, though, is their defense is just so damn good. They can get pressure with just bringing 4. And then Spags is going to dial up blitzes. Karlaftis was dominant today. So was Chris Jones. So 7 straight AFC Championship games. You can hate these guys. You could think it's a joke. You could say it's rigged. You get the 7 straight AFC championships. You got something special going on. The question is, will they win a 3rd straight Lombardi trophy? They still got 2 wins to go in that regard. All right, looking ahead to tomorrow, Rams at Eagles. Eagles 6.5-point favorites. I think if this game was played in a dome, I would actually pick the Rams, but everything is pointing to Philadelphia. They're at home. It might snow. It's going to be cold and windy. Saquon Barkley already rushed for 250 against the Rams. Matt Stafford in cold weather has not been great in his career. Cross-country flight. I like the Eagles. I do think the Rams cover, but I just think the conditions are going to play a big factor here. I think they're more built to play in a kind of muck-it-up bad weather game. Give me Philadelphia 23-20 there. And then Ravens-Bills. Look, on paper, game of the weekend, we'll see if it lives up to the hype. Going into this game, this has a Chiefs-Bills feel from a few years ago, that crazy 13-second game and that wild 4th quarter and overtime when the Chiefs ended up winning it. I think we could see that type of game. I love the over in this spot. I like Baltimore to win. It feels like a 31-28, 34-27 type of game, something high scoring. I think Baltimore's defense down the stretch has played better than Buffalo's, and I think Derrick Henry's an equalizer and takes some pressure off Lamar Jackson. I like Baltimore in a high-scoring, close game, and I think they'll have a shot against the Chiefs next week. I really, really will. Who you got in this one? R for the Ravens or B for the Bills? Let us know in the comment section down below. R for Ravens or B for Bills. And going to be a fun day tomorrow. If you are subscribed to our main Chat Sports YouTube channel, we will have watch parties for both those games. Of course, here on 4Vert, subscribe as well. We'll react to both games tomorrow once the second game concludes, so lock us in. My name is Harrison Graham. Enjoy the football tomorrow. We'll see you soon.